Pacific definitely is home, since I've experienced it as a brand new student on campus, as well as being inspired by my faculty, the experience that so many of our students have. Being able to serve the role as a leader of a college and really shape the direction of the education that we provide at Pacific. And then my two children went to Pacific. They're both graduates. In fact, they both graduated on the same day in 2019. So what led me here as a student was what many of our students experience. They heard about Pacific from an alumnus. And when I was deciding where was I going to go to optometry school, I looked to somebody that I trusted, and that was my eye doctor. And he said, Jenny, the perfect place for you to learn to be the best doctor you possibly can is at Pacific, because of the campus and the warm environment that you'll learn in. It's exactly what you need. So I took that very seriously. It's really important to me that everyone feels like they belong, that we create environments and places to learn and places to work and places to practice that people find comfortable. And that my whole hope is that everyone will find a home at Pacific, as I did. Learning and the rigors of school are hard enough, and anything we can do to create a sense of community and a sense of belonging, to me, is probably the most important thing I can do as a president. Martin Luther King said, I can't be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. That's the interrelated connection of our reality. And what that means to me, and what I have found at Pacific, is that everyone is dedicated to our student success. And everything that we do to directly help you as you learn and grow as a student, you will then go out into the world and you'll indirectly have an impact on our society as a whole. So in my mind, everything I do is to make sure that I can bring out the best for all of you. I'm very proud to say that I'm a first-generation college student, and I'm proud to say that I inspired my children to go to Pacific. So we carried that tradition on. It is so difficult to be a student at any point, but if you don't understand how to navigate all of the aspects, from applying to, at the time when I was applying to school, we didn't have the internet, so I couldn't Google how to fill out a FAFSA form. So I missed out on having necessarily somebody at home who could guide me through that process, but I sought out mentorship. And that's what I hope for all of our students, that we can have in place the right mentors at the right point in their educational journey, so that it's not overwhelming to navigate making it through college and all of the decisions you have to make. When I look at how we provide services to our students, I'm a big believer in streamlining and making things as easy as possible, because I want students to focus on growing and learning what they need to learn, so that eventually when they leave our campuses, they can go out and find their bliss. We have this way that we describe Pacific. We call it splendid audacity. And I believe that we actually are a very audacious university, which means we are willing to go to pursue big goals and do whatever it takes to achieve them. And I believe I'm living proof of that as a first-generation college student, to having been through every aspect of Pacific and now having the unbelievable privilege of coming back as your president. That is a perfect example of what can happen during your time as a student at Pacific. I always say that our mission is our promise to you. And we really believe in keeping our promises. And that, I think, is what's important and how we're set apart. So my youngest daughter looked at me when she was a freshman, and she had this moment that I know many of us have had where she said, "Mom, adulting is hard." And what we found is that as she worked with her faculty and her professors, Pacific became the place where she and her brother, and I know I found kind of my sense of self, and a place where I really became self-aware and developed the skills to be able to go out into the world as a thinker, as someone who can apply what I learned in school. And that's because our faculty are dedicated to making sure that students are able to ask the right questions, that students approach their learning. In my mind, I think we teach students how to learn, and then we teach them the value of that lifelong learning as they go out to whatever they decide to do with their degree from Pacific. In my mind, what sets us apart is the unique blend of programs that we have on campus. There's no other university quite like us. And when we say we have splendid audacity, that's the perfect example of what that means. We have this rich blend of a liberal arts education where students are provided the opportunity to learn how to think and to practice critical thinking. And then we have the opportunity for students to actually apply all of the skills that they developed as a student here in different ways, in ways that they might not even have imagined when they first started their journey with us. We're the university where we see you and we hear you and we want to know you. So my advice for students when you come to our campuses, no matter what program you're entering in, make sure that we get the opportunity to know who you are. Stand up, speak up, let us guide you throughout your journey, wherever your educational experience is going to take you. We take mentorship very seriously. I'm living proof of that because of the strong mentors I had throughout my educational journey. And my advice for all of our students is make the educational experience the most it can be by being present. Take advantage of all that our campus life has to offer. Take advantage of all the different ways that you can learn, working out in our communities, being a part of athletics, being a part of the cultural experiences that we offer, because that's how we grow and we gain new perspectives. And that's what Pacific gave to me. As an alumna, I feel like I have this deep connection with our students because I was you. I went through quite the same experiences that many of our students have here. And in my mind, I have the opportunity now to pay it forward and to truly help students in a more impactful way as their president. I envision the year as what I would describe as an abundance of conversations. And ultimately, I hope at the end of the year, you all know me as much as I have the opportunity to get to know you. As we come out of this pandemic, I have extreme high hopes for my beloved university. I know that we're going to come out stronger and more connected because I know the dedication of the faculty and the staff and the alumni and the community that we're a part of. And I'm ready for that. And I'm ready to have those conversations.